What's up, guys? I finally got enough stuff to do a little bit with my cross cart. It's actually a pretty big part to the cross cart. Here she is. I ended up not getting an R6 just because people wanted way too much for them, and this thing's gonna work perfectly fine. I picked it up pretty cheap because I'm just gonna be using the motor, so it doesn't matter what everything else is. It's a little cracked in some spots, but like I said, we're not gonna be using any of that. It's just for the motor. But it is a 2008 Kawasaki ER6N. It comes out to around like 72 horsepower. The displacement's like 649 cc's. So I mean, it's gonna work for what I want it to do. It's not gonna be as fast as an R6, but I can re-gear everything for faster acceleration because the top speed is 124 miles an hour, and we do not need that. So we can re-gear everything, get some faster acceleration, get some low-end speed and everything like that. But first things first, we're going to tear this apart, get all the fairings off and everything. I'll actually go grab the keys real quick. We'll start it up. It does have an exhaust leak, so it's not like, doesn't sound the best right now. But it is a 2-cylinder, so it's got like the deeper tone like my FZ07. But it's not going to have that crotch rocket noise, but it's going to still sound pretty good. So I'll go get those keys. We'll get it started. What I didn't mention about this bike is the mileage is a little high. But like I said, for the price, I'm not going to be too upset with the mileage. I knew what I was getting myself into. I can rebuild it if need be. It runs really good. Hopefully it just keeps running good. But I can rebuild it and everything. I just needed this to be able to mock everything up and get going. But it does start pretty halfway decent sometimes. So it does sound halfway decent, does sound pretty healthy as well. The only thing I have to do with the frame is make another one of these posts, put it on the other side and put the lengths on it as well. And then the motor's gonna sit like in here. I'm probably gonna mount it somewhere right in here. And then it'll sit back in here. I also have a seat so we can mock things up. But yes, we just gotta start tearing stuff apart. Hopefully it all goes well. It's very painful taking this thing apart. For one, everything's just so dry rotted, it keeps popping apart. Plus, every single one of the bolts on here has a nut on the back of it. So everything's just like pieced together, but we are almost apart enough anyways to get a look at everything. I just gotta pull this bottom fairing off. And then I'll do the same thing to the other side, which shouldn't be an issue. It is a whole mess up under here. You got underglow stuff just shoved everywhere. You got a looped brake line for some reason. Don't ask me why. Missing bolt in the gas tank. If there's nothing holding it up front, because I think it just slides in up front. That's the only thing holding it on. Stuff tucked under here. I think I'm going to try to reuse that underglow. Maybe put some underglow on the cross cart. Be kind of cool. Maybe buy a whole new kit. Who knows? We'll see how much there is on this. If anybody needs ER6N parts, I'm going to be parting this out after I take the motor out. If you come across this video and you need it, let me know. I found where the gas tank lets out gas. My only issue is I'm by myself and I have to empty that because it's full. It might be a task. I'm going to get it into one of those gas cans and we'll use it for like the mini bike or something, but hopefully I get it without dumping gas everywhere. I got the gas tank off, and then I got these rear fairings off. We did empty the gas tank. Didn't show that because that's boring. Right now I am just chasing wires to kind of get all this underglow mess out of here. I'm going to be chasing wires in other spots. Like I'm going to pull this air box and get everything out from underneath there. But I want to have majority of this stuff stay together, like the wiring, so I don't have to mess with anything like that. Because I want to keep the ignition, I want to keep the speedometer so I can put it in the cart as well. Like I said, right now I'm just going to chase everything, kind of figure everything out. I'm not going to record any of that because it's going to take me forever and I don't even know what I'm going to be doing. So when I go to pull the motor out, I'll start draining the coolant and everything. That's where we'll pick back up. It took me long enough to do it, but I think I finally unwound this mess to where when I unbolt everything and drop it down, everything will hopefully drop out the bottom. There's the underglow. That whole mess of wires. Trying to leave everything hooked up to the motor or as much as possible so that I don't have to remember where stuff goes. The things I did pull off I have marked. Now I'm going to drain the coolant and see if I can't undo these 6 motor mount bolts and get this thing out of here. Figured out my issue. I popped that off and it's suctioning that. Shot me in the back of the shoe all over the floor. So let's see if we can catch all this without it going all over me and all over the floor. So we drained all that coolant. It doesn't look like a lot, so when I take it apart, a bunch of coolant's probably still gonna come out of the motor. It never fails. But now it's time to pull the radiator off. I'll pull those exhaust headers off and see where we're at for pulling this thing all the way out. So I'm not the smartest, but I'll just show you guys what I did without recording. It's out. I was more worried about dropping it than I was starting the video, so that's my fault. You didn't miss much. We probably would have been in front of the camera 3/4 of the time anyways. But it's out. I have everything on it. I'm going to strip a couple more things off this. I'm going to take these off because I'm going to keep those, and then the gauge cluster as well because I'm going to put that on the cross cart. But for the most part, we're done with tear down. Now it's just cleaning it up and then getting the other pieces bent for that and getting it mocked up in there to see where I want it to sit. There's more things I have to buy for it, so I don't know quite what I need yet. I know I need Heim joints and stuff like that, so we'll get those ordered. But my issue is going to be with the rear diff because I want independent suspension on the back, so I'm going to have to make a rear differential basically and run CVs out and everything. So I just need to see how long everything is, but that's what I feel like my issue's gonna be is with the rear diff. But we'll get everything cleaned up and start going on this. As you can see, motor's out. You guys saw that. It is the next day, so I'm just getting started on everything that I'm doing. I'm getting ready to bend up that other side of the cart, and I'm gonna put the uprights on as well. I have to get those hole sawed out and everything. Now looking at it, I'll be able to mock up the motor, get it set in there, get the seat set in there, and kind of see where I'm going to be sitting. But I just realized that I'm going to need some thicker steel to weld onto these to put the motor mounts on these uprights on where they need to go. So I'm kind of going to be at a standstill after I do all this. After this week, I'm going to buy majority of everything for this so that I can get it going really good. I'm going to make my own A-arms for it as well using Heim joints and this tubing that I have, or the pipe that I have. So hopefully I can get more done and get going better on this rather than just doing a couple things at a time in each video. I can do majority of it in the next video hopefully. But I'm going to get this bent up, get everything tacked together, get the motor mocked up, and we'll see how everything's looking. Since I forgot to hit record on everything I just did, I got my little 12-incher cut out for the front. I already got my back one cut out and hole sawed. I mean, you guys don't really need to see that. You saw that in the last video for the other side. When we get those chopped up, put them in there. My angles, I have both of them done, but when I put them on, they're going to cross back here. And I don't know if I need to cut them yet, because I don't know if I'm going to have them laying flat across like that, or if I'm going to have it go from here and angle up to my roll cage. So I don't know if I want to cut those yet, and if I do, I might cut them like 5 inches long, just so I could get the motor in there and mocked up and everything. But now I'm going to hole saw this, get them welded in, and tack everything up and see how it looks. Well, as soon as I got those beams welded in, that one and that one, I decided these back ones were too long. So I had them at 20 inches and I set the seat up that I have in there. And I didn't like the way it was sitting, so I dropped both of them down to 18. So they are a little bit shorter now. And when I put the seat up on brackets with those, it will also bump the seat up a little bit. So I think it'll look a lot better. So now I have to weld those back in and figure out what I'm going to do for these back braces. Because that one's only temporary and it was just to hold it up. But with the motor sitting there, I don't think that one can be there. So I got to figure out how to make one go around it. Maybe put a bend in one. I don't know yet. But I'll get these welded in. And then I will get the motor set in there with the seat. And we'll see what it looks like. So I decided I'm going to chop 55 inches off both of those. And then I'll get these tacked in. I did get these put in. I want it straight up and down. I was thinking about putting it out at an angle on this top piece. So say sitting like that. But I'm not too sure I want to mess with that on how to get the notches cut in them. I'm not really feeling that. So I think I'll just run it straight up and down like that. And then hopefully we don't run into any issues there. But I feel repetitive. I keep repeating myself. After this step, after I get these cut and tacked on, we will get the motor sitting in there. Here's what we are looking at for a slight mock-up. I know for sure the engine's going to have to go back a little bit because I want a little space in between the seat and it. Because I kind of want the back of the seat sitting right at that angle. It might not end up that way. It might end up moving forward at some point. I just want to make sure I have enough room up here to put steering and pedals and everything in. These braces, I know I'm going to move them all the way up front here. So that way that could be the front of the A-arm and then the back of the A-arm can sit like, I don't know, right here, and we can still have steering and everything in there with enough room. It's kind of starting to come together. I wish it was coming together a little better. Also, this is going to get chopped off back here, like right behind the diff, so it's not going to be that long. This is where we're going to stop for today. I'm kind of out of time. I feel like I have a lot of video too with taking that apart. It might have been a little boring watching me take it apart. Hopefully this stuff kind of made up for it. But if you guys liked the video, drop a like. Drop a comment, let me know if I should do anything different, because like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. And if you want to follow along with this, snowmobiling, dirt biking, or anything else, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys next Wednesday.